Hi everyone, welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah. I got nothing funny to say. I'm trying to keep the microphone exactly a fist width from my mouth because I'm trying to work on that and not like eat the microphone.
You could allow it a tiny bit closer, but you don't want it touching. You think it's too loud.
Touching is cool. I think that's what the rock stars do. I'm trying to work on it here.
Okay.
Not a rock star.
The cocktail of the week this week is the Fuzzy Valencia, or if you like, Valencia.
Valencia.
The Fuzzy Valencia. I don't know why it's called this. It's Irish whiskey, amaretto. I like anything with amaretto. And orange juice.
Wait, was the fuzzy navel named after the navel orange? No.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was your navel. I think it was your belly button. Oh, maybe because Valencia is a type of orange.
I know.
Well, so is navel.
I understand.
I just
why is Irish whiskey and amaretto the thing that makes a fuzzy?
Totally. I just made some cosmic connection, but I didn't finish making it. It's still, the end of that connection is still flitting around.
I'm asking Google why it's called the fuzzy navel. The fuzzy refers to the tiny hairs found on a peach, and the navel refers to navel oranges.
What?
Remember that, and you'll never forget which two ingredients to pour into this peach-flavored screwdriver.
Fine. How about the fuzzy Valencia then?
I'm guessing that the fuzzy Valencia is just a twist, so instead of peach schnapps, you use whiskey.
The fuzzy is the peach.
A fuzzy navel is peach schnapps and orange juice.
Yeah.
So the peach is fuzzy. The navel is the kind of orange.
Yeah.
So I think someone's just like, let's make a variation on that and give it a different, like, vaguely related name.
But it has neither peach nor... It has orange, but it doesn't have peach.
Have orange, yeah.
But you still call it fuzzy.
I mean, it's a really distinctive name.
I'm going to find whoever thought of this and
ask them, like some dude
ask them these hard questions.
You're right. I mean, they could have changed, like, instead of changing
the navel
to Valencia, they could have changed fuzzy to something Irish.
Peat.
The peaty
might
navel.
Might be Scotch, actually.
The peat navel.
The peaty navel.
I mean...
The mossy navel.
That's pretty good, actually. I wonder if there is a mossy navel.
What's that other stuff? Lichen. The lichen navel. Ooh.
No. All right. Anyway, so there you go. That's the cocktail of the week.
Okay.
Administrative corner.
I love administrative corner.
I wanted to give you time. You don't have to say that every time, but I wanted to give you a minute.
I mean, I still like it.
Yeah.
I might as well say it.
Administrative corner this week. So last week I was kind of sad on the podcast that everybody likes your snaps and content better than mine.
You said allegedly.
And it's funny because a bunch of people came in and they're like, Jen, you make great snaps, and also I love GR Dad snaps and they're longer, but we definitely like yours. We just like his better.
You are so selectively paraphrasing.
All right, you and I read them.
Yeah.
And they basically, a lot of them
basically is doing a lot of work there.
Anyway, I was said on the podcast that people generally like your content better. Though some people have DM'd me in private and they're like, I didn't want to say anything, but I like your snaps better. Yeah. So I do have a little fan club that likes the shorter snaps. But a couple people put together like GR Mom appreciation threads that were extremely nice. So
I want to digress a little bit and just say I feel like it's a little bit of low expectations that I benefit from, in the way that, you know, men get extra bonus credit for doing like basic stuff sometimes, whereas like the dad has the kid at Target and everyone goes, oh, what a good dad. And the mom has the kid at Target and everyone's like, you're the worst mom ever. Everything you're doing is exactly wrong. You are terrible and I'm taking your child away. But the dad, everyone's like, oh, it's so cute how he's letting his kid, like, you know, swim in the kiddie pool exhibit or something.
I mean, that is bullshit, but I don't think that's the
I
situation
think it's
here.
a little bit. People are like
you.
oh my God, he can take a picture.
There was
amazing.
somebody, I did post a picture and someone was like, "Gee, our mom, you take such good pictures.
Oh.
This one's so good." And I was like, "Thank you, but your dad took this picture."
That's true. I mean, I have to admit that you have taught me a lot of things, and you have explained certain things about how to take pictures and how to get the color and the shade and all this right that I do sometimes use, and then you're like, hey, it's a good picture.
Your pictures look a lot more like my pictures than they did even like a year or two ago. I really have been like, you got to get down on eye level, and you see how like you have the shadow from this here, you can't have that, and like try to have them facing this way.
Yeah.
And you've totally done it. In the snaps too, you can see that where, I mean, this is a thing I think that separates not just us, but kind of like popular, like if you want to make your dog popular on social media, pro tip from a person who teaches a class on this. Tons of people have accounts for their dogs on social media, and they're all cute, but the vast majority of them are people standing up, looking down at their dogs, taking pictures of them. And it's a really uninteresting angle to see your dog from like human standing height looking down at them. It's way more interesting if the pictures are at dog eye level, which I think is a general good photographic tip. And you'll notice that occasionally we'll have like everybody standing outside the kitchen, and it's clearly supposed to be like our perspective on all these dogs like looking at us. But most of the time, the pictures are at eye level for the dogs. So you're kind of engaged with the dog instead of in this outsider human perspective. And that's a thing that it's hard to do because it's like, oh, your dog is doing a cute thing and you want to snap a picture. And it's necessarily like you standing height level. And that's why it's like work to take pictures that do well on social media of your dogs, because we miss a lot of stuff because it's like it would be actually kind of crappy if we just took it from where we were.
Yeah, and then if I get down on the floor to take a picture, I get like 6 dogs swarming me and licking my face and making it impossible to take a picture, so that kind of dies.
Yeah. For the GR Mom lovers in
It me.
It's true. There's a new episode of The Agenda, which is my non-GR Dad podcast with friend of the squad and board member of the Golden Ratio Foundation, Jen Coleslaw.
My God, you let it all hang out in that podcast. I recommend people listen to that just for the behind-the-scenes information.
It's pretty fun. I think we've put out 4 episodes now, and they definitely have gotten better. Like, we were really figuring it out for the first 2, and now we've kind of got a theme and like much more structure to it.
There's an old boyfriend story from you. Mm-hmm. That'll drive listenership right there.
So if you just search for the Agenda podcast, it's Agenda, AJENDA, because we're both named Jen. So it's the Agenda podcast.
You like bust on me, and
I don't bust on you in there.
Just embarrassing.
I was just listening.
Dartboard with my face in the studio.
This is not true. He's lying. In the studio, in my office, or like right here on the couch when you're not home when we're recording.
Look, it's in my head at the studio.
Maybe someday the Agenda will be a super popular podcast, and we'll have recording studios.
I will do my best to drive.
Thank you.
My traffic to the Agenda.
You are always supportive.
You asked for listener input, and I couldn't think of any questions to ask, so I didn't submit. But
we have a listener mailbag every episode where we take turns. One of us asks the other a question or two submitted by people on social media.
Yeah, I may ask a question at some point, or suggest a topic.
Is it going to be like, how did you two meet? That's our most popular question.
I'm not revealing my secrets.
Okay.
Or which account I'm going to ask it as.
Or I like it.
Which email I'm going to use to submit. You'll just have to be surprised, and I will be pleased.
I like it.
Pleased.
All right, we have a couple dog updates this week.
As every week.
Always. There's never nothing. So Hopper, we had updated last week. Her x-rays and everything radiologically looked fine. They did run, her thyroid levels were a bit off, and they did a kind of more in-depth thyroid test, which also came back low. So she has started on thyroid meds, and now half of our dogs are on thyroid meds.
What is up with that?
I don't know,
do we have a representative sampling where we have I mean, I think who else was on? I think Manchego was on thyroid medicine too, I think.
Probably. I think it's really common for diabetic dogs.
Oh, maybe.
Because the whole endocrine system.
Yeah, but Hops and Brody.
Yeah, and Remy.
Like maybe it's underdiagnosed. Maybe because it's a blood test thing, right? You have to actually be looking for it.
Yep.
I'm guessing since we are more aggressive or generous, financially generous with our vets, not everyone gets blood tests as often as we do for our dogs.
Yeah.
We get them like weekly.
All the time. Yeah. Our friend of the squad dog, Bahia, who lives a couple blocks over in the cooler months, she is on thyroid medicine too. There you go.
Oh, well, that's like, yeah.
So anyway, Hopper has started on a low dose. We'll do another test in a month to see how she's doing, but hopefully she definitely seems to be feeling much better than she was like 2 weeks ago.
She had a really good day today.
Yep.
Like she's chipper.
Yep. Yeah, she seems happy. She was playing like
That's
for the
right.
last few days. She's been doing much better.
She's quite ball obsessed these days again.
Yeah, there's a lot of
like gone for a while.
A lot of balls being thrown around these days.
We did have a box. Somehow we had accumulated, or someone had sent us a box with like 100 tennis balls.
I bought that as a Christmas present.
Oh, for the dogs.
For the dogs. Remember, and there's
Yes.
a TikTok of me opening it and dumping it out, and everybody
right.
being like, "Oh,
Walk's head literally,
yeah,
catches fire."
yeah."
Yeah. So we've been doling those out because they get real chomped up. Nacho is the biggest culprit, but even Guac occasionally will chomp on a tennis ball and cut it in half.
Yep. So that's Hops. Vink went into the vet today. She has been limping for a little over a month, and she like throws herself down the stairs to chase lizards, and so
and she wants to,
yeah, just fling. So she we thought maybe she had pulled a muscle or something, but like after a month she should have stopped limping. So I brought her in today and we did a bunch of x-rays. I was worried she had like a bone spur in one of her shoulders because she had elbow dysplasia, so like little cartilage bits in her elbow joints that she had surgery for when she was
a baby.
Yeah, less than a year old. And, obviously had the total hip replacement. So I'm like, her joints are crap, and I'm worried that there's a thing in there. So it turns out her joints are crap, but there's not a thing in there. She just has very serious arthritis in all of her joints.
She's too young. She's like, in my mind, she's still 6 months old, and she cannot have arthritis.
She's 8.
She's she's my baby.
I know. She's older than you, though, in dog years.
That dog years thing is weird. I think it's an approximation. I'm not sure it actually tracks.
It's true. So anyway, she has started on carprofen, which is an anti-inflammatory that a bunch of our other dogs are on, and hopefully that'll make her feel a little better. She doesn't seem distressed or anything, but she limps on it, and as one vet of mine pointed out, they don't limp if it doesn't hurt. Like,
yeah, that's right.
So,
but
anyway.
she's fairly light, which is important.
It's very good. Like Vink weighs like 57, 58, which is kind of her low point. She's very skinny now. I mean, she's not emaciated, but like you can feel her ribs. She's svelte.
Yeah, and I love it because she's so portable. For me, she seems like half a dog.
She weighed 78 once.
Yeah.
Like literally 20 pounds more than this.
She weighed like what Hopper weighs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is ridiculous.
That's when she was bad angle Vink.
That haystack picture is still so unfortunate.
So she's done a good job. She doesn't seem hungry all the time. Like we've just got a really good diet for her, and she's at this weight. And given that she has such bad arthritis, the vet even said today, she's like I'm surprised she can kind of get around that well, but it's because she's so light that she's doing it. So it's good for her that she's thin.
Yeah, and swimming is low impact, so maybe we'll do some more lane swimming with her.
She's also happy for just sleeping all the time.
Yeah, she is. Even in the middle of the night, sometimes she'll get up, she'll come to my side of the bed, she'll like lick my hand or something, announce herself.
Wake you up.
She wants some pats.
Yep.
And she just wants to kind of tell me that she's changing positions. She's like going from the bed to the floor, or the floor to the bed, her dog bed. and then she's happy and she lies back down and goes to sleep. She doesn't want to go outside.
No.
It makes me a little crazy sometimes.
She has done this her whole life, though.
Because no, it's right. This isn't a new thing. This is just a VINK thing. But then I get up with her and I'm like, "Do you need to go outside?" Because that's the fear for every dog who wakes up in the middle of the night. And then she goes, "No, just watch me get into the dog bed. Thank you. Good night." She snuggles in, and that's it. And I was like, this has been 10 minutes, VINK, of me now being fully awake. And she's like, "I am sleeping now. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention."
You are a late night sucker for petting the dogs because like when they come over to me and I was like, all right, there's a dog in my face. And I like pet them once and I'm like, "What do you need? Do you need to go out? Do you need anything? Because we're not petting anymore. I'm just going to look at you." And then they're like, "Okay, I'm going to go lay down," or go over to Ingo. And then Ingo will pet them for like 20 minutes. Sometimes I'll be like, "Ingo, you're keeping me up. Like, stop petting them. They're fine. Like, take them out if you're going to do that. But you can't just pet them in the middle of the night and like shake the bed and pet the dog. Go to sleep."
I'm a roasty. Yeah. I might be able to pet them in my sleep too. Who knows? It's possible I'm asleep while I'm petting them.
So anyway, that's that. Those are the main dog updates. Nacho continues to settle in, but he's a wild man.
Well, the dog years thing may work for him. He's maybe like a 12-year-old boy. He is constantly looking for stuff to mess up. It's
interesting because sometimes he'll get, so sometimes he's asleep, and then when he's not asleep, he's often very wound up. Yeah. And he'll get in this like super, you can see his brain is just kind of like somebody has left the car in neutral and put their foot on the gas all the way down. It's just going in his head. And he starts walking around and he's like looking at stuff and he'll pick up a ball and then he's like, "I don't want to pick it up." And then he walks over to the next ball and then he kind of walks to another place and he walks to the other place and he has no idea what to do with himself.
Yes, that's right. But he's very frantic about it.
Yeah. We walk him, we play fetch with him, we take him swimming, we give him brain puzzles,
pet him.
We do everything to wear him out and he still is like that. So he just needs to keep settling in more. And he's a kind of insecure dog. Everybody who helped transport him noticed that he's kind of quite timid around new people. He warms up after like 15 minutes. But you can see it sometimes that he's just like, "Oh, like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing." Or
he was so, I had him at the vet today for his allergy shot. And he's so different at the vet than all other 5 dogs, right? All the other 5 are just like, "Yeah, it's fine." Even VINK generally is fine in her weird way.
Oh, she's fine. She's like, "Hi, pet me." He
was actually kind of just shrinking away and didn't want to be pet and was just much more timid than the other ones. Yeah, which is it was just interesting for me to see. You already know this, but around here he settled in with the other dogs pretty well and isn't like cowering or anything. But to have him be like nervous around other people and stuff and his new surroundings was interesting for me because he's a big man. He doesn't need to be nervous.
Yeah, but I think like he's got some mild resource guarding issues where like if there's food being given away or he has a thing and he thinks one of the other dogs will take it, he'll start like maybe he's gonna show his teeth about it, and we cut that shit off like right away. Like he's getting the lessons like we do not do that in this house. He doesn't do it with people at all. And it's not bad, but there's a little bit of that there, and that's kind of an insecurity thing. And I think he also kind of relatedly was not very well socialized. Like he and Remy have a good time if it's a little overdone. And Remy's up for it most of the time, but sometimes Remy's not, and Nacho does not understand not to do it. And Guac really doesn't want to play like that with Remy. I think he would like to tug or something, but Remy's just so like out of control that Guac is like, "I'm not into it." And Remy doesn't really know. So today I was like, "Guac, you got to just tell Remy no." And so I'm like, Guac has to tell Nacho no.
Right.
So Nacho's like, "Come on, Guac, play with me." He's like barking at him. And Guac is like, "I don't want to play." And Nacho's like, come on. And he'd like try to tromp Guac's leg, and Guac would be like, "Don't do it, man." And I'm like, "Guac, you have to let him know," right? Like, because we always kind of just pull him away and be like, "Leave Guac alone."
Right.
So Guac gave him a couple corrections, like not biting at him or anything, but just,
Pushing him or
making sounds that are like, hey, like seriously knock it off. And Nacho understood that. And then he just kept barking at him. So he's like, he didn't keep playing, but he'd like bark in his face. And Guac was looking at me like, could you please do something about this? And I'm like, pal, like you gotta like set the boundary here. So we are planning to go up to Maryland probably. I mean, this is a tentative plan at the end of August. And I emailed Michael, the trainer, today.
which seems like far away, but it'll be here like instantly.
Like literally it's a month from today that
I'll
we would
do like
go.
3 sleeps and it'll be August
I know.
27th.
I know. So we're not sure, but we're going to try to get him to spend some time with Michael. I think like just having playtime with the other dogs that Michael is training would be really good for him. Cause he knows his sit really well. He knows his down, but he needs to build up some confidence and some socialization. And there's like a certain amount of that we can do here. And we're working with him on stuff, but Michael just so quickly can do things with him. So hopefully we'll be able to get him in for some time.
Yeah. No, and Nacho, I think I see in him that he's smart.
Very.
He's just still kind of overwhelmed. And I mean, it always seems like these dogs are never going to completely socialize, but it usually takes like 6 months for the newer dogs or the ones who are more traumatized to get fully comfortable.
Yeah.
And you only see it in hindsight,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he barks more now, which sucks, but it's a sign that he's more comfortable and letting himself go a little bit more. And
Yeah.
what do we always say? You get so many emotions. You don't even, sorry, you have so many emotions right now that you have to bark.
A lot of feelings.
You feel a lot of feelings. You obviously can't deal with them except by barking, but it's still too loud. Stop it.
Even if we can't get him in with Michael, we'll take him up to Dogtopia, which is just like doggy day camp. And I think that will be good for him to at least get some socialization. It's just so much more guided with Michael. Like he's so intuitive with the dogs. So hopefully
he really is.
Hopefully he'll get a week or so of that, plus some Dogtopia time,
I mean, and Nacho has a certain style of play, and it really only works for Remy here.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he'll find other dogs who like rough housing, or he'll learn to chase dogs and run around. Because Remy sometimes goes out and is like, I'd like to chase you.
Yeah.
And Nacho hasn't learned that yet. Nacho's still like, I have a ball. Are you going to throw the ball? And Remy's like, I can't throw a ball. I don't have thumb.
And tugging too, like Guac really likes to tug on a rope.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like how we got him, him to engage with Remy and Voods.
Voods was good at it, yeah.
And
Hops was great at it when she had all her legs, yeah.
Yep. And there are times where like Nacho has gotten up in Guac's face and Guac will go get a rope and bring it over and be like, let's tug on this. And Nacho's just like, I'm going to chomp on your face.
I don't know what that is. I'm going to chomp.
Yeah. And Guac is like, I don't want you to chomp my face. You could chomp on this thing. So that's, it's a thing that I think he will learn because he is a very smart dog.
Yeah.
But there's only so much we can do, especially with like 6 dogs that all need a lot of individual medical tending.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the funny thing is Michael's like, well, you should just, if you do this for like an hour a day with them, they'll be great.
He doesn't say that.
He doesn't say an hour a day, but his model is if you just practice this behavior consistently all the time, and then we're like, it's kind of chaotic, and we don't always have like, one-on-one attention with any dog in the right circumstances without distractions.
But you especially don't like let's practice the thing every day. I think you get a little more.
I just think it's hard. I'm not against it philosophically.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's right. It's harder for you. Like our philosophies with the dogs are a bit different, not in conflict, just different. And I think it's good we didn't have kids, aside from the fact that I didn't want any, because I think our parenting styles, it probably would have played out into conflict, in that you look at the dogs and you're like, what does this dog want right now? And can I give them that thing? And I look at the dogs and I go, how can I make this house a peaceful place and make everybody happy? And so sometimes like you're doing things that are like kind of getting them wound up, or like unnecessarily complicated. It's not that they're bad, but it's just like you could skip the egg and the rolled up meat carrot and like the second round of regular carrots, right? Like when you're not here, I'm like, all right, everybody's had dinner. You get a little snack, and now we're gonna lay down. And then everybody's like, okay. And then everybody lays down.
Yeah.
And you have a bit more of a production, which they like, right? There's nothing, I mean, I think it's great and they love it. But if you are committed to the production being necessary, it can get very overwhelming because there's a lot of it.
Yes, I agree. No, look, I deal with the trauma of having lost a lot of dogs in the last 2 years by saying they're all going to die. I better spoil the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Which is not entirely up to date with all these younger dogs and active dogs we have now. But I still basically feel like, I should give them good days and treats and make them happy.
I totally agree. And you try to do it with like every possible thing. Like, is there another thing I could give them here?
Well,
Is there
I'll
another
sacrifice sleep and, discipline and what is it?
Peace.
Serenity.
Yeah.
Yes. For trying to keep them happy much more quickly than you will. Yes.
I think the difference is it's not trying to keep them happy. It's trying to find a thing and give it to them and see if it makes them more happy.
Yeah. Maximum happy would be good.
And I think like this is the thing with if we had kids, right? I mean, you obviously have a kid, but I didn't parent her at all.
Right.
But if we were raising kids and you were like, kid who's like sitting in her room doing a thing, here I have bought you this present that you didn't ask for, but I did it to try to make you extra happy. And I'd be like, knock that shit off. They're fine. It would have been bad with kids.
I think it's a complicated hypothetical and it doesn't track, right? That kids aren't going to die soon in the same way that I'm worried about the dogs.
It sounds like you got a little bit of trauma around the dog losses.
It's a bad setup that they don't live as long as we do. Yeah. That life is not fair that way.
I know, but the alternative is that we die and we leave all of our dogs behind like people with birds, and then the dogs are really traumatized.
Oh, I see. If they lived longer than we did.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's fair. I mean, but it's a lot of people's first exposure to death too.
Mm-hmm.
It's their poor pets die.
All right. Speaking of, we're doing a Voods Memorial Race.
Oh yeah.
In the fall. Details forthcoming, but I have decided we're going to have 3 distances. So this is going to be a virtual race. You do it at your house on your own. There's going to be like a day for it. And we will allow a little wiggle room. Like usually I set it for a Saturday, but you could do it on the Sunday or the Friday before or whatever. So we're going to do a 5K measured in voodoo tails, which I don't remember how many it is, but so 5K.
3.
A 6-hour race, which is a thing that we do in ultra marathon land. So you get 6 hours. And it's how far can you go in 6 hours. So you can walk. I mean, you could walk a mile and then like watch Netflix for the rest of the time. And you've gone 1 mile in the 6 hours. That's fine. You're absolutely allowed to take breaks. You're allowed to walk, run, whatever. Just how far. No biking. You gotta, like if you're in a wheelchair, you can wheelchair. But otherwise walking or running for the 6 hours. You can't bike for 6 hours and then be like, look at all these miles that I got. No.
Man.
No rowing. You got to walk, run, or wheelchair.
Man.
So how far can you go in 6 hours? And then I'm like, but we got to have a real Voods element to this, aside from just measuring these distances in Voodoo Tales. So we're going to have the Voodoo No Challenge. And the Voodoo No Challenge is that you will leave your house. You will walk as far as you like, which could just be a couple houses down the block. And then you have to lay down in your neighbor's yard and take a picture of yourself laying in the yard to complete the No Challenge.
Could it be in public too, in a public space like at the high school or something?
Absolutely. I mean, if you live in an area where you can't get into a neighbor's yard or it's not safe or whatever.
They have dogs.
Lay down in a McDonald's parking lot, school, whatever. Yes, just find a place that you're going to lay down on the ground, take a selfie, complete the No Challenge.
We prefer you not lay down in the middle of the road Voodoo would have done it, but he was crazy.
Yes.
Or
Be safe. Do not get shot by neighbors for trespassing. Do
Oh
not
my
get run
goodness.
over by cars. Find a safe place to lay down and refuse to move further.
Don't scare anyone if you can avoid it.
Yeah, don't be all dramatic about it.
Like, have a sign. I am not dead. I'm just resting.
You really only have to lay down for like long enough to take the selfie.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
realistically, someone would have to drive to pick you up.
Many people ask,
Drag
like,
you
will your
into-
dad come get me?
I will try, but, I can't be everywhere in the GRV.
We do have at least one follower who lives like one key over. So
Sure.
they could do it.
Sure. We'll try to pull them into the Jeep.
All right. So that's it for dog updates. Ingo, you got to save yours till Ingo Corner. You get to do your ramblings later. I get to keep my stuff in order. Ramblings. Next. The GRV is broken.
Yeah. I never loved its finish or service history, but it doesn't work right now.
We were trying to set it up for some people to come visit. It has no power in the back part. You can like start it and drive it around. You just can't have air conditioning or power or water.
Yeah, it's better for vehicle than recreation right now.
This happened once before, and we had to replace a marine battery. Is that
The battery
right?
was not what it was supposed to be. The dealer had put
was
in
the wrong one?
like some car battery, and the person we had servicing was just like dismissive and scoffing at the
They
idea
were, yeah.
that you just put in a car battery instead of a marine battery. I don't know the difference
I
either,
don't know.
but that's why it wasn't holding a charge at the time. So
I could
now
totally
it's
have
something-
there's like a knob you have to turn.
now it's
to
something
switch
different though. There are some kind of fuses, and I don't know.
I don't know. So we got to get the GRV fixed.
Something.
Hopefully before August, though. Not that we sleep overnight in it with the
Nah,
squad.
you can
but
drive
still.
it with it dark in the back. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't turn the lights on in there.
It's like a van. Then it's just like a van.
Yep. All right. This is like in this sort of in between space between ramblings and Taste of the Keys. So wherever you are, there's probably a Buy Nothing whatever. Buy Nothing. We have Buy Nothing Key West.
Buy nothing, get one free?
No. It's a Facebook group. Buy Nothing wherever is close to you. They tend to be small groups. So like if you live in the suburbs of whatever, Detroit, you don't do Buy Nothing Detroit. You do Buy Nothing your suburb name.
Auburn Hills.
Sure. I don't know any Detroit suburbs.
I just think I made that.
Oh,
but
Grosse Pointe.
Is that Detroit suburb?
I think it's near Detroit, isn't it?
I don't know. I just know that movie.
Yeah. I think it's like where the executives from the car companies lived in like Grosse Pointe Hills, Grosse Pointe Farms. I went to college with a guy who lived in Grosse Pointe Farms, or his family did.
Interesting.
And if you live in Grosse Pointe, you don't need the Buy Nothing Facebook group, which is people exchanging stuff for free.
Exchanging? Is it like barter, or people are just like, I have this stuff, please come pick it up?
Yep, and it's the latter. It's a full range of things. So we have given away a lot of stuff, like when we got a new stand for our TV, and didn't need the old one, and I was like, look, it's kind of a little bit screwed up, but it's yours if you want it. We got rid of like some lawn furniture that way, so just put it up there, and it's kind of better than Craigslist because like people actually show up for it, and you're not trying to get money for it.
We've had bad experiences with Craigslist. People saying, I want this, and then not showing up.
Everybody has that experience,
Which is weak, then don't say it. Yeah.
I've never had it with the Buy Nothing groups because people are like, great, I will totally take this thing, and I understand it's not perfect and it's fine. So it's some stuff like that. It's sometimes like, yeah, we finished this, remodel job and we have 3 sheets of granite, like figure out how to get it, but you can have it for free. Somebody today had like 2 half-used bottles of canola oil, and they're like, if you want these on Big Pine Key, like you can have them. So it's a big range of things.
I have some dead batteries. Can we give those away?
Somebody actually listed like some kids like truck, the like little drive around trucks.
Yeah.
That has a battery, and they're like, we don't know what's wrong with it. It doesn't work. Like, you want to fix it? Like, you can have it.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
got a
I mean,
charger.
it's sort of like, this is too spread out, but it's like when you just put stuff at the curb on a Sunday in the suburbs, someone will pick it up, and you
And
can
so-
say broken, and it'll be
Yep.
like your lawnmower or something, right?
Yeah. This is a lot of that. I mean, some of it is stuff that's broken. If people put stuff out at the curb, like most of the stuff, I do that now. I put it out at the curb, and then you just post it as a curb alert on on Buy Nothing group.
It's kind of an easier way than doing a yard sale, right? Remember yard sales? I think no one ever really made money on them. It was just a way to clean your crap out.
Yep. And it's like, we don't need the
But it was a big
$20.
production, and it relied on foot traffic and people driving
It's
by.
creepy. People try to get into your house and take stuff. It's just stupid. So anyway,
Wait, what now? Is that really what?
Oh yeah, if you have a yard sale, like
No.
people 100% will try to go into your house.
No.
They'll like wander around back. Yeah, I mean I have not had yard sales, but I have friends who do them.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, you got to lock everything and like block shit
No.
off. Yeah, it's crazy. Yard sale people, crazy. Please write GRDad at Ingo Barkart on Twitter with your crazy yard sale stories.
Oh, it could be a whole thing.
It's a big thing.
I had no idea. I thought it was just like, you sell
No.
like your 5 or 6 things and your old pots and pans, and people are like, 50 cents.
No,
I've seen
crazies come.
Maybe I just have watched it on TV a lot.
Yeah, they don't show you the crazies.
No.
That's crazy. So anyway, so I follow the Buy Nothing Key West group. I mostly give stuff away. It's pretty rare that I have picked stuff up. But somebody posted.
That's in your nature, to cast off things and to reduce the amount of clutter in your life, rather than your nightmare is going to a yard sale and like picking up
Oh my God.
3
Terrible.
trinkets, tidbits,
It's
and
terrible.
Hummel figurines.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, there was a post. I'm going to read you the post. This is the thing that I made Dad. I was like, hang on, before we go like buy rum, we have to stop at this thing from Buy Nothing Key West.
Yes.
Which is Plantifa, the Plantifa Plant Exchange. It's our local Key West anti-fascist plant exchange, Plantifa. The post was, like one, take one. Have an extra? Leave it for a friend. The stand under the blue umbrella at blah, blah, blah address is pretty full today. So this is just out in front of this person's house. They have a little plant stand with a blue umbrella over it and free plants. And a little sign that says Plantifa. Come and see if there's something you'd like. You don't have to bring a plant in exchange for taking one. All you have to do is enjoy 100% anti-fascist plants.
Which we did, and we took one each, and now they're in places of honor.
Yeah, Ingo got a tiny little succulent in like a 1-inch pot, and I got this.
The pots were free.
Yeah,
I
you have
know,
a little
it's like amazing.
1-inch ceramic pot. Mine was in just like a kind of nursery pot, but it's a nice. I love plants with like pink on the leaves, whether they're like pink stripes or pink dots or whatever. I think they're cool. So this was like I don't know what the hell it is, but it's got green leaves with pink in the middle. It's very pretty.
Some of the plants had little descriptions on them, typed on them.
Yep, there were a lot of herbs and some succulents.
You're
but some
one of
big
the
stuff.
few Americans who says herbs, by
It's
the way.
the correct way. There's an H on it. Okay.
So say all non-American countries.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
Got it right.
Fair enough.
So anyway, I just like that it's called Plantifa.
It
I think
was
it's
great.
very clever.
The concept was great. That's such a Key West move in a way.
Plants are a thing that like I do not feel the need to purge. Like I'm happy to have it be a jungle. Like I feel cluttered by stuff, but not plants. More plants. Always more plants.
Yes, and they kind of self-purge because not all of them
They don't all make it all the time.
make it all the time. Yeah.
All right, we have 2 proper taste of the keys. Both of them are aquatic in nature.
Then why don't we dive in?
Yeah.
If you want to make a splash.
Oh no. Stop.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I'm saving the best one for last.
Well, that's good.
Angler airlifted to Miami-Dade Hospital after being bitten by shark in the Florida Keys. And you go, oh, Jen, oh no, didn't you just tell us a story about someone in the Florida Keys? And we did. That was...
Swimmer.
Yes, Lindsay Bruns is her name, 35-year-old mother of 2 from Texas who was attacked by a shark when she was swimming. We talked about her a couple episodes ago. The bite wound extended from her hip to her knee, and medics gave her 11 blood transfusions as they flew her to Miami-Dade Hospital.
Oof.
We talked about that. I was like, I think they gave her blood in the helicopter. 11.
They gave her all the blood.
11 units of blood.
Wow.
But she's doing okay. There was an update on that at the end of this story. So this guy, you're like, oh no, are there sharks attacking? This guy caught a lemon shark, and then he's like, I'm going to throw it back. And he went to take the hook out of its mouth, and it chomped him. So he kind of had it coming. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what your name is. Yeah. Anyway, he also got helicoptered up to Miami.
Like his hand got chopped off?
Uh,
Or did he
unlike
get like
the
a little
woman who was
scratch? Did he
seriously-
get a little scratch?
I mean, they had to airlift him to Miami.
For the scratch.
He was bitten on the hand by what witnesses describe as a 6-foot-long lemon shark.
6 foot long is long.
He caught the shark, reeled it in, and, quote, got too close to its mouth as he tried to remove the hook to release the fish.
Well, good for him for trying to remove it, but maybe, you should have a better technique.
Man, yeah, don't put your hand in the shark's mouth. He's going to chomp you.
It's a shark. Famously, they do chomp.
So, anyway, there you go. He got airlifted out, but he stuck his hand in the shark's mouth.
Shark chomped.
I mean, all right, but here's the good story.
That's not a bad story.
No, but this one's better.
Whoa.
Key West police officers helped save baby turtles who couldn't find their way to the ocean.
That is a better story.
Did you read this story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I saw the pictures.
I know, it's so cute. So there's turtle nests all over the place down here. In fact, we were out at Little Palm Island on our tiny vacation. There were 2 turtle nests like on the island. They got them all roped off. It's the time. So the turtles hatched on Monday. This couple days ago, Monday. And it was right next to the Pier House bar and restaurant, which had its lights on, and they kind of follow the light. Normally they're looking for the moon because it's over the water, and that's where they go. And they're like, the moon! And it was actually just the bar. Did Vink pop her head up?
She sure did.
Think you're the moon.
Oh, don't. Oh, no.
Oh, here she comes.
We really can't use that word in a sentence anymore. I think we have to refer to some kind of lunar thing.
Think you're lunar.
Vink, she's wagging her little tail off. Vonk. We know you're the moon. We know you're
That big white thing.
that big white thing in the sky.
Big night thing in the sky.
Oh, Vinky Vink.
Right, we haven't done that for a while.
Sorry for that distraction.
So they were like, "It's Vink," and actually, it was just the Pier House, and of course, it's nighttime. So they're crawling across the deck, the wood deck of the restaurant.
The bar, yeah.
Yeah, because it's outside. And so there's just a Key West cop there, and they're picking up the little teeny tiny turtles, the size of a silver dollar.
Smaller than hands, yeah.
Yeah, and then bringing them over to the water.
letting them crawl
go
into
in.
the water. Yeah.
Yep. So they saved them all, and there's great pictures of just the deck of this bar with all these teeny tiny little turtles trying to swim over the deck all over it. So I think it's a story that's kind of gotten picked up by the national media. So if you search for it, you'll totally be able to find it with the pictures. Or look at the city of Key West on Instagram. They tweeted a bunch of the pictures. And they put all the little turtles in a bucket. Actually, it looks like a champagne bucket. I'm looking on Twitter here.
Maybe it was.
Definitely a champagne bucket. I mean, I think we've got that champagne bucket. And then took them down to the edge of the water line and put them in the sand, and they all crawled out into the ocean. So
I guess there are advisories that you're supposed to turn your floodlights off on your docks and stuff during turtle hatching season, right?
Yep.
Because it confuses the little ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a pretty good taste of the Keys.
That is good.
Yep.
Yes.
It's time for Ingo Corner, where you get to talk about whatever you want.
I'm going to do German word first, though.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot German word.
Yeah,
I'm very sorry.
so
I was so excited about the turtles.
Turtles and chompings and things. The German word of the week is Putin-Versteher.
Okay.
And it's Putin.
Understanding?
Understander.
All right.
But it's a derogatory term for those who believe they understand him and ascribe motives to him and kind of make excuses for him.
Mm-hmm. Slava Ukraini.
Yes.
Putin-Versteher.
Very much. It's a pretty critical word, right? It's these people and it's been used since, I think at least 2014 when they invaded the Crimea.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of I mean, like there are here Putin apologists and saying, it's
Yeah.
well, he felt threatened by NATO and blah blah blah, and it's a very critical word. It's these
Fuck
people
those
who
guys.
purport to empathize with Putin and to understand him, and Putin verstehe. It literally does mean understander, but it's sort of an apologist.
Yeah.
Really is the sense of it.
Interesting.
Putin verstehe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Putin apologists, right? And there's a lot of whataboutism, and there's a lot of just there's always a group of people who are going to adopt some opinion that's contrary to be cool.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, he's not so bad. But most of the Germans are like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're a Putin versteher.
Good one.
Diese Putin versteher.
Yeah.
So that's the German word.
Okay. Ingo Corner. It's okay if you don't have anything for Ingo Corner. It's just your time.
Are you encouraging me to not have anything?
I mean,
for Ingo
always,
Corner?
always. But it is allowed. You should use it as you see fit.
No, I'm good. I don't have anything, that needs to be said.
Okay.
But,
We got a lot of positive feedback on Ingo Corner last week. So people like that you have the opportunity to say whatever you want without me going like, don't be boring.
they're all great dogs, but I always say that.
I mean, that's okay. You're allowed to. It's Ingo Corner.
These are all very good dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, until next week, everyone, Slava Ukraini, and don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Right. Unless we do an extra bonus podcast. You never know.
Then you'll hear from us before
I could get bored.
Yeah.
And we'd need to
That happens.
talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe then.
So definitely
Until
next week.
time.
But you never know.
Yep.
Just keep your ears perked up.
And still keep your mouth to yourself.
No biting. Don't, even if someone's trying to take a hook out of your mouth, probably don't bite their hand.
Yeah.
Let them take the hook out. You're better off.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a communication issue, isn't it? I don't think he explained himself to the lemon shark. Men. Anyway.
Bye.
Bye.